He won't even set a wedding date until we settle out all of our financial problems. And I said, well, what is that going to be, like 10, 15 years from now?
The ring on her finger got thrown back at me 3 times.
27 years old and $88,000 in debt.
Until you come to terms with how deep a pile of poop you're sitting in right now, all you're gonna do is keep making the same mistakes.
I don't even know how we got into debt.
The only thing that's paid for here is the lights.
If we continue the way we are, we will lose everything.
I'm not going to stand there and get yelled at.
I'm not lying.
You're full of it, Scott.
Don't bother getting married, because all you're gonna do is incur the cost of a divorce.
We don't know what's gonna happen.
If we don't settle down our debt now, the wedding's not gonna happen.
It's pretty depressing.
Till that do his part.
These 3 engaged couples are at risk of losing everything, including each other. Aisha and Duane have credit card mania.
Something pops up. You put it on the card.
You can have the same style shoe, but every color makes a difference.
For George and Shantelle, it's buy now, pay later.
My $6,000 debt, home theater, home entertainment center. We watch movies because finances won't let us go out.
And Catherine and Scott can't stop bickering over bucks.
And I'm frustrated because you're not helping with me and you don't understand anything.
You said, don't look at my stuff. That's my bill, my business.
Fighting over finances is still the leading cause of divorce, and it may prevent these couples from even making it down the aisle. I'm Gail Vaz-Oxlade, and I've been helping people solve their money problems for over 20 years. I've also been married 3 times, so I know a thing or two about marriage. I've brought these couples to my court of love to fix up their finances and save their relationships. Welcome to Numbers and Nuptials. I'm going to present evidence that says that if you don't clean up your financial act, you're going to end up in divorce court. Let's hear the opening statements. George and Shantelle make $85,000 a year, but his income's been cut while he's off work with an injury.
His job is dangerous. I just get this really bad feeling because it could happen at any time.
Chantelle's a graphic artist, saddled with a $30,000 student loan. After 4 years, she's paid off a grand total of 17 cents.
The only things paid for are the desk and the chair.
And that is the printer that put me $1,600 in a debt.
All I needed was a simple $200 printer. He likes, you know, the boy toys, the big TVs, the DVD players, and...
My pride and joy. The 42-inch plasma, 1,000-watt surround sound. My $6,000 debt, it's really pinching me pretty hard.
At the rate they're going, it's going to take this couple 55 years to pay off all their debt.
You still look hot. Look at you. Come on, girl.
Together, Duane and Aisha make almost $100,000 a year, and they love spending every cent.
We had to buy some external wardrobes. 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 168, 169. We're probably looking at about 300 articles of clothing.
She's got a thing for shoes.
I have a slight obsession over shoes. You can have the same style shoe, but every color makes a difference.
He's a salesman. She works in an emergency shelter. And both of them are hooked on credit.
In debt?
Probably around 40 and change.
50,000, between 40 and 50.
Probably in anywhere from
50,000.
55 to, I'd say, 68. That's what I guess we think.
Yeah.
They just bought a house, but what they don't know is that they may never be able to pay it off. They'll be 89 years old and will have incurred $2 million of accumulated interest charges before their debt is paid. And you're still planning to have a big wedding? Catherine and Scott, with $45,000 in debt, you have the least amount of debt, but you guys can't communicate to save your lives. I don't know if you're ever going to make it down the aisle. Catherine and Scott are living on $88,000 a year. Scott works for wildlife control, and he's a bit of a wild boy himself.
His weakness is big toys. He likes his fishing, his snowmobiling.
Catherine's a sales rep. She's hooked on online shopping.
I'm just bored and I go online and I end up spending.
With no savings, a habit of missed payments, and lying about their spending, they're gambling with their future. They'll be in their 70s before their debt is paid.
The biggest thing I've bought since we've had the house was the ring on the finger, and it's got thrown back at me 3 times.
He's like, oh, you don't understand, I've got a line of credit, I've got this. I took my ring off and I said, fine, here, if you couldn't afford it, you shouldn't have bought it in the first place.
She said it was going in the toilet, and I heard a whoosh.
He won't even set a wedding date because he says we can't afford it and weddings are a waste of money. And he says, well, you know, until we settle out all of our financial problems, we're not even gonna move forward. And I said, well, when's that gonna be, like 10, 15 years from now?
It's a nightmare.
Catherine was a single mom before she met Scott. Now that they have a baby together, things are even tighter, and they're fighting. Their 2 children see it all.
I gotta do it all by myself?
Good for you. Go team. It's hard telling an 8-year-old that it's just adults' problems when you're constantly yelling at each other over stupid things like money. It's just really upsetting, and I don't want to do that to my kids. They don't deserve it.
It is going to be an uphill battle for all of you. When we come back, facing their futures,
The tsunami and Hiroshima all at the same time got dropped on us.
lies,
You're full of it, Scott. You're making
I'm not
yourself
lying.
sound like an idiot.
and videotape confessions in my courtroom of love.
The wedding's not gonna happen.
Debt and deceit could destroy these 3 engaged couples before they even make it down the aisle.
The future wife thinks we spend too much money, we've got too many debts, which is true.
Their spending is out of control.
At the end of the day, he'll lie about stuff that he buys.
They're drowning in debt.
He makes big purchases, and then he says, well, it's my money, I need this.
And their deception is about to go on trial in my courtroom of love. Duane and Aisha are a couple of credit card junkies.
You put it on the card, get the checks to pay, something pops up. And something kept popping up until, it can't pop up anymore.
Duane and Aisha are totally unconcerned about how they're going to pay for the wedding.
You can't even cross your legs up.
When we first sat down to do our list,
My
your
list
first
was
one
like
3
100 and something.
No,
Dwayne came with a
no.
list of about 350 people.
That wedding's going to cost $30,000. So how much do they have saved? Time to get real. You're spending over $700 on department store and stuff and hardware store and discount department store and almost $1,300 in cash. $2,000 a month.
I didn't even know you had that much money.
You don't have that much money. It's going on credit cards. In 4 years, you've already racked up over $80,000 in debt.
80.
You plan to spend another $30,000 on a wedding.
80.
That's 110. And then you bought a house.
The tsunami and Hiroshima all at the same time got dropped on us. 27 years old and $88,000 in debt. I think that is unbelievably pathetic.
You're actually spending $1,255 a month right now, more than you make. And you bought a house, so your costs are about to go up. Your overrun is going to be $2,132 every single month. Add that to the existing debt you have, and in 5 years, $744,000 in debt.
She didn't really tell us anything we didn't know. I just didn't realize it was that much.
Until you come to terms with how deep a pile of poop you're sitting in right now, you're never actually going to move on. All you're going to do is keep making the same mistakes over and over and over again. It's very important, Duane, that you get how serious a problem this is. Catherine and Scott have kids. and an audience for their bickering over bucks.
His weakness is big toys. He likes his fishing, his snowmobiling. He's got like 40 fishing rods. It's ridiculous.
The only time I know that she's bought something is that if I come home first and the parcel's on the door.
I'm just bored and I go online and I end up spending. I know I've got to stop or rather move the computer out of the house or do something.
We're always arguing about who pays more, who makes more, and who should be paying more. And
He won't even set a wedding date because he says we can't afford it and weddings are a waste of money.
it's a nightmare.
Somebody likes to shop online.
Yes.
You shopped online on the 27th of April, you did it twice. The 28th, the 2nd of May, the 3rd, the 4th, the 4th, the 5th, the 6th, the 6th, the 6th, the 7th, the 9th, the 13th, the 15th, the 18th, the 19th, the 19th, the 22nd, the 23rd, the 23rd, and the 24th.
Yeah.
Who's going to a banking machine that's not theirs?
I guess I probably have, yeah.
20 times in a month. Are you insane? You're averaging $131 a month
my Lord.
in bank fees. You are now doing things that are financially disruptive because you are looking for ways to fill the emotional gap. Right now, you are spending more than you make to the tune of $2,480 every single month.
Holy man. I didn't think it was that much.
If you stay on this track, in 5 years, you'll be $600,000 in debt.
My God. Oh my Lord, that's crazy.
Shantelle and George are deeply in love and even deeper in debt. But that hasn't stopped them from planning a $50,000 wedding.
This wedding's gonna be huge.
Like 300 people.
And what Shantelle doesn't know is that the $5,600 rock on her finger was bought with high-interest credit.
Till death do us part.
Till that dude part.
You're completely irresponsible. You had to have a big entertainment center?
I thought buy now, pay later, I could save up that money, but it didn't work out that way.
You bought it for $6,000. A year later, the balance was due. You didn't pay it. You know what happens when you don't pay it? A 35% interest rate kicks in, retroactive to the day you bought it.
Wow.
That $6,000 unit is suddenly now $8,100 worth of debt.
Is it too late to give it back?
Yes. $73,000 in debt, not including your mortgage. How much do you have to set aside every month to make your wedding budget?
About $500 a month
You think?
each. I'm talking like $1,000 total. Because you gotta think
That would be $18,000.
Not even, way more than that. Wow.
Yeah.
Try again.
$3,000 a month.
$2,777 a month.
Wow.
Do you have $2,777 a month you're not doing anything with this week?
It's not just you.
$3,000 a month. Mm-hmm. That's insanity.
Right now, you are spending $2,674 more than you make every single month. And in 5 years, almost $600,000 in debt.
You still want to marry me?
Shantelle, you didn't think it was this bad.
I just don't want to live like this anymore. I saw my parents go through it, and I refuse to myself.
To survive the next month with me, believe me, you guys are going to need each other. In the meantime, you can start by giving me your credit cards. Because this month, you're going to be living on cash. And I'm going to be cutting your spending and cutting your spending, and you'll soon find out by how much. Coming up, secret spending on trial. Objection! And trying to survive on cash. We're screwed. These three soon-to-be married couples are jeopardizing their futures, spending money they haven't made yet. You got a big knot in your stomach right now?
Not, and I got a hot flash, and
Oh my Lord, that's crazy.
I don't even know how we got into debt.
I brought them to my court of love to help them get out of debt before they head down the aisle. If they play by my rules, live on cash and complete challenges that will test their real commitment to each other, there's a dream honeymoon and $15,000 up for grabs to help them pay their debt. No changes, no money. First, I expose their secret spending. Are you guys ready to get naked about your dirty financial secrets? It's time to call my first witness. Scott? So have you ever bought anything that you didn't want Catherine to know about?
Probably just smaller stuff.
Look at this.
His weakness is big toys. He likes his fishing, his snowmobiling. He'll go out and spend $5,000 on a boat motor, which he did last year without telling me.
I told her. After, maybe?
I told her after doesn't count. Are there any things that you have bought that you have hidden from Scott?
Maybe a couple.
Let's see.
He always questions why I'm spending money. I guess that's why a lot of my spending's online, because I can do it without him even knowing it. I do it on my lunch break at work, or I'll come home and do it when he's not home because I don't want to get in trouble. Okay, maybe more than a couple.
How do you manage your credit card payments? Paying off your credit card every month?
Yes, minimum, which is...
Minimum and paying off do not belong in the same sentence. Do you feel you are open and honest with Aisha?
Yeah.
I wonder what she has to say.
So I kind of got pissed off because, you know, I'm trying to talk to Duane and tell him I'm carrying like 20 monkeys on my back. Meanwhile, Duane is just kind of like jamming along and like he's there, but he's not there.
Baby, you're there, but you're not there. Where are you? What percentage of your take-home pay for both you and George do you think you spend paying your debt?
maybe 20%.
You're spending 50% of all your take-home pay repaying your debt. You go out and have a $50,000 wedding, you won't have money for food or a mortgage payment. You won't have money for anything. George, have you ever bought something you didn't want Shantelle to know about?
No, you know what? We're...
Objection!
One of the main things was her engagement ring and how much it actually was and what I had to do for it. It's a high-interest loan. It's about 30%.
I rest my case.
I told them, look, we have to get more debt by getting married. It's just the wedding's not going to happen.
Here's the final verdict on your spending. I'm cutting your spending in half, and then in half again. Duane and Aisha's monthly budget cut to just over $600. Shantelle and George, $880. And Catherine and Scott cut to $1,208. I've slashed their spending by 75%. Here come the jars. You're going to be living on cash. For all your variable expenses, Duane and Aisha, you're going to have $158.
We're screwed.
Shantelle and George, you'll be living on $220 a week.
There definitely might be some challenges because he is used to living it up and having money to do things.
And Catherine and Scott, $308.
Gail, you tell me, how can you say no to this face? How can you say no?
You guys will have to say no to a lot of things. I have for you the budget binder. You are going to write down every single cent you spend in the next month. If you play by my rules, I'll have a stash of cash for you, up to $15,000.
Shashi! Sorry.
Don't do the challenges, and yet don't get the money. To get out of debt will take a team effort. For better or for worse, you're going to have to trust each other.
Let's see, we have some weights here.
In the debt hike, for each $10,000 of debt, they've got to carry 10-pound weights. And to get rid of it, they'll have to talk about money.
10, 20, 30, it's all here.
I'll take 5. You take 2.
Oh, I don't like this.
They'll carry that weight through the woods looking for my checkpoints.
You look like Paris Hilton.
Quiet.
This will be the most I will ever in my life walk.
Okay, we got the first flag up there.
Each time they agree to implement my debt-busting tips, they'll get to shed some dead weight.
If one person keeps track of their finances, make sure the other one knows where the records are and can read the financial reports. Both of us are involved, not just one.
So instead of having my money in a separate account and your money in a separate
And I pay my bills and you pay your bills.
Right, we'll put it all together.
And we can both understand where we're going and not be in the dark.
We can drop a weight. So.
You're carrying more than me, so
No, you drop the weight. Go ahead.
You drop the weight.
I am fine with this. This is great. There goes $10,000.
Yucky.
Couples can retain some financial freedom by agreeing on how much each person can withdraw monthly for personal use.
Remember, I had all that money in my pocket, and you said, well, what's that for? And I said, that's for the month. So I started doing
Yeah, but that was on your own. That was your own
no, I know,
decision.
but I started with that process.
Minus me, minus my consultation.
Another 10 grand. Mash your toast. Ooh, this is later.
Put your heads together.
Hey, put our heads together. Okay.
Making one person responsible for all the financial decisions or maintenance is a recipe for disaster.
We gotta talk more about our finances, that's the thing. Because usually it's just pay the bills, and that's it. But we should talk about exactly what's going on instead of trying to hide it.
$10,000.
Bye-bye.
You think we can trust one another to be able to do that?
Well, I don't know.
Coming up,
Let's go, homie.
are these couples ready to make a leap of faith? To save their futures? In this wedding special, I'm showing these three engaged couples how they could end up over $500,000 in debt in the next 5 years. You didn't think it was this bad? To keep them out of divorce court, I've brought them to my court of love. If you play by my rules, I'll have a stash of cash for you. Up to $15,000. What? While learning to live on a strict cash budget. They'll also have to complete challenges to earn that money to help pay down their debt. During the debt hike, every time they agreed to work together on their finances, they were able to shed debt weight.
$10,000.
Bye-bye.
Marriage and money depend on trust. To test how much these couples really trust each other, I'm making them take a leap of faith to complete their first challenge. From 3 stories up, one of them will leap for the flag, trusting that their fiancé on the ground will keep them from falling by holding the safety rope tight. Scott and Catherine still aren't sure they can trust each other with their money.
Holy crap!
All right, get up there. Come on.
Yeah, easy for you to say.
Can Catherine rely on Scott during the jump?
You all right?
It's slippery up here.
Don't hold the rope. Hold the pole with your hand.
I can't. Uh-oh.
There you go. How's that flag?
It's far.
There you go. Almost. Good job.
Catherine's disappointed. Scott seems oblivious and doesn't offer much comfort.
Come on, Scott, you do this every day. Come on.
Here, come on. Let off a little bit.
Okay, we're off.
Little Karate Kid.
What are you gonna do, crane kick? Come on.
Go, buddy. All right, here we go.
Come on, honey.
That was great.
George is forever Chantelle's hero. She's afraid of heights, so even though he has a work injury, he tries to make the climb. But his bad knee catches up with him. He's not going to be able to go for the flag. It's all up to Shantelle. She needs to conquer her fear, or they'll get failing marks from me on this challenge.
Whoa, 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 whoa. You need a rope. Remember, nice and easy. Pace yourself. If you get scared, just stop. Come on, girl. Right here.
I don't think I can do this.
Okay, Shawnee. Are you sure? What are you feeling right now, sweetheart?
Freaked out.
Okay, listen. I've got faith in you. You can do it, sweetheart.
Can we cut her a little slack?
I can't do this, I'm sorry.
All right. No problem. No big deal. Okay? You okay?
The white man don't jump.
This black man don't jump.
Turns out, Duane's not comfortable with heights either.
Let's go, Ovi.
So he steps back and lets Aisha take the lead.
That's it. No worries. That's it. Take your time.
Duane, shush for a second.
Yep.
I'm gonna jump. 1, 2,
2, 3. There we go. There you go.
That is
sweetie.
the worst thing. That is not easy.
Go. There you go.
At the last minute, Shantelle decided to face her fear and complete the challenge.
Okay. Let's go, boo. All right, girl. You're right where you were last time. Come on. That's it. Come on, girl. You're almost there. Can you take one more step? We got you. You're not going nowhere. That's it. That's it. Come on, girl. Reach. It's all you. It's all you, Sean. Yeah! Woo! Just let yourself drop. Woo!
Never give up. Support each other. Help each other through everything, and she did it.
The challenge has brought two of the couples closer. But there's trouble brewing between Catherine and Scott.
Come over here. Come stand over here.
I decided to step in.
We yell at each other every day. We can't agree on anything.
No, hold on. Do you yell?
No.
Hook him up to a machine.
I mean, if we define the word yelling, what's the definition of yelling?
Ooh, wrong answer.
I'm not just standing here while you're gonna lie.
Catherine's had enough.
I wasn't lying.
I'm not standing here while you lie. I don't wanna do this anymore.
Catherine.
Catherine! That's bullshit.
I'm not lying.
You're full of it, Scott. You're making
I'm not
yourself
lying.
seem like an idiot. I'm not gonna stand there and get yelled at and make myself look like I'm bad when he's not even communicating with me. I'm not gonna do this.
This is a perfect example of what is wrong with your communication style. You are not getting your message through to him. He can't hear it because of the way you're delivering it.
But how do I communicate with that with him when he was never there?
Excuse me, go to a counselor.
Yeah, I don't even have an hour of his time. How's a counselor gonna fit it in?
Do you want this to work?
I want it to work.
You do want this to work?
I do want it to work.
Do you want this to work?
Why would I want to do all this all the time, arguing?
He makes a point.
But
why would he be putting up with this if he didn't have to?
Well, same with her. I mean,
It's the same.
she's putting up with
He's
it.
defending you. Did you see that?
Definitely.
So will you seek counseling help? If you don't do this, don't bother getting married. Because all you're going to do is incur the cost of a divorce. These guys can't communicate with each other. It's no wonder their finances are in the toilet. Is that where their relationship's headed? With so much at stake, let's see if George and Shantelle are making the sacrifices necessary to pull their finances back from the brink. This must be as tight a squeeze as your budget.
Oh, yeah.
How have you found living under those jars?
Very, very good.
You know what? I'm actually pretty surprised. It's very easy for me to accommodate with those jars.
What are you not spending money on?
Smokes.
Coffee,
Oh!
cigarettes. I think we figured it out, $5,000 a year just on smokes. 5,000. There's our TV payment.
This still has money in it. That's fabulous!
See, we're putting our heads together. We're budgeting.
I'm working as a team.
Absolutely.
How are you feeling about the wedding plans?
Still have a little glimmer of hope.
Well,
I see you're striking some people off.
Yeah.
Take more off.
I'd love to get eloped.
We would love to elope. and
Vegas,
just-
let's go.
But everyone will disown us.
Chantelle's expectations should be the most important thing to you. And the fact that your mom is not so crazy about that, that's not important anymore, okay, Mommy? I love you, you're important to me, I respect you. But you know what? I'm not prepared to go $50,000 in debt to satisfy your expectations, Mommy. Every couple expects their wedding to be the start of a perfect life together. But what if disaster strikes? You people have been spending money and ratcheting up debt like there is no tomorrow. In the next 24 hours, I'm going to show you what no tomorrow can really mean. Everyone everyone was caught by surprise by my next challenge. When the fire truck showed up, they thought it was a real emergency.
Open the door.
We have a fire downstairs in apartment 922. Please vacate because the smoke's coming up. Immediately, please.
Did you just get my jacket?
Where is it?
There's a fire truck in front of our house.
What?
Oh, they're coming in here.
What the hell is firemen coming into our house for? Hello?
Fire department.
Yes?
There's a fire at the back of your house on the roof. Could you please leave the house now? Immediately.
Okay.
Leave.
Thank you.
Catherine and Scott sent their kids to stay with relatives.
Okay, Johnny, let's go.
George was in on the deal. Shantelle wasn't. He had surgery scheduled for his knee, so this gave me the opportunity to add some drama to Chantelle's predicament. Still reeling from the shock, Shantelle and the others spend the night in a shelter for the homeless.
Am I going to a shelter? Really?
What?
When? Like now?
This is not...
That's crazy.
What's an emergency shelter?
Coming up next, a real-life preview of how dramatically life can change.
You have no money.
These three engaged couples think they're headed for happily ever after, but in fact, they're spending their way to disaster. If you don't clean up your financial act, you're going to end up in divorce court. Duane and Aisha use their credit cards like disposable income.
Get the checks to pay, something pops up. And something kept popping up until, it can't pop up anymore.
Shantelle and George are mortgaging their futures with buy now, pay later.
My $6,000 home entertainment center.
And Shantelle has had enough.
I saw my parents go through it and I refused to.
Catherine and Scott bicker over who wastes more money. Catherine secretly shops online.
The only time I know that she's bought something is that if I come home first and the parcel's on the door.
While Scott would rather buy a boat motor than book a banquet hall.
He won't even set a wedding date because he says we can't afford it and weddings are a waste of money.
So I've brought them to my court of love to teach them how to live on cash. And I've designed challenges to test their commitment to each other and to paying down their debt. Up for grabs is $50,000 to help pay down their debt and a honeymoon package for whoever can accomplish my challenges.
Fire department.
In the For Richer or Poorer challenge, they'll see that if you're living paycheck to paycheck, it only takes one disaster to put you on the street.
Jeez.
You don't look like you're okay at the thought of being in a shelter.
Let's see if a sleepless night in an emergency shelter drives that point home for our three soon-to-be married couples. Catherine and Scott have to send their kids to stay with relatives.
Makes you think hard about what you have and what you should do to make things right.
We have a home and we have kids, and these people would love to bicker in a house if they had a house, and we're sitting here arguing over stupid shit all the time.
Eggs are cold. Ice cold.
See?
Can't eat, man. It's like this situation right here, it's like I am sitting on my couch watching this on TV. And I'm just like, that's never gonna happen to us.
Never say never.
That's exactly what I'm saying. Look where we are. That's right, we have no house.
Have no house.
We have no clothes that was on our back. You have no money.
Duane does not like to be shifted from his comfort zone at all. And he was not happy on Friday when she came and said he was staying at a shelter. He almost shit himself.
Overall, how are you feeling about the whole process?
Good.
In the last 2 weeks, we have really been able to decide what is like a need
And what is a want.
and what we want.
Right. And you see what happens to people who don't plan their lives, have no emergency funds?
Difficulties.
There's just a very fine line between you and the people you saw in the soup kitchen in terms of jobs and debt. And it only takes 3 months worth of not paying for everybody to come swooping down on you and rip it out from under you. I know I scared the crap out of her, but I don't know whether you bought my story.
Oh, yeah, I did.
You're sure?
I did.
So
I very much did, yeah.
you know how serious this is?
Oh, yeah.
If there is something that's going to split you up, it's a disaster that's compounded with a financial crisis on top of it. okay? So don't think that you are immune. You would not be the first couple money split up.
Statistically, it takes about 6 months to recover from a job loss, so ideally, everyone should have 6 months' income as an emergency fund. I've got these couples started by putting away $100 a month. After the second challenge, Catherine and Scott came to an important crossroad in their relationship.
Get the juice boxes out of the fridge for me too, please. We haven't talked to each other literally in the last 24 hours except for hi-bye and helping out with the kids, which is hard. And me sitting at work today realized that, you know, how much I do love him and I want to make it work.
I'm happy to say that, you know, she scheduled some counseling for us starting this week, and hopefully they can send us in the right direction.
Marriage means sticking together in sickness and in health. My next challenge puts that to the test. If one partner were sick and couldn't work, how would they survive on only one income?
Can't even imagine if it would happen. That's crazy.
Papi, listen, when you're done ironing,
Yeah.
I need you to clean the chicken.
Clean the chicken. Ew. You know, I hate cleaning chicken.
Well, can you get me some juice? I'm thirsty.
Please.
Please. Papi, can you put ice?
No, it's cold.
Can you get me a banana?
Are you trying to just piss me off today or what?
Why is she sleeping?
With no nest egg and Catherine in a cast, unable to work even for a few days, Scott gets a reality check.
You're not hungry for bacon or anything? I'm making bacon and eggs again.
This is some weird bacon and eggs. It's a freaking mess.
I can't pick her up, honey. I can't pick her up.
There's no way I could live on the salary that I have.
Shantelle gets a real taste of life on one income, while George recuperates from knee surgery.
Any of us could be in this situation, have that security ripped from us.
She discovers that her take-home pay of $2,000 a month, plus George's disability benefits, won't be enough to cover their living expenses for very long.
If something happens, I'm screwed. I'd have to start from the bottom up, sell everything that we both worked hard for.
As a commissioned salesman, Duane's average take-home pay of $3,000 a month could dry up at any time.
They just let go of someone not too long ago. Had a bad quarter, and that was it.
Bum change, your duty.
My duty?
I ain't gonna be able to hold her down.
I gotta do it all by myself?
All by yourself. How you like that one?
Scott takes home $3,000 a month too. But he's got kids. Without Catherine's income, he'd be lining up at the food bank.
How you doing, Scott?
1, 2, 3. I did put it on backwards at first.
So, this taught you a lesson?
Huge lesson. We would have been screwed. No money for the week. My paycheck would have been cut.
Yeah.
And no emergency savings, so we would have had nothing.
Rah-rah for the emergency
That's
fund.
right.
Did you go see a counselor?
Yesterday, last night.
Did you kill each other while you were in the session?
I think it's just, there's an issue that we have and we just don't know how to argue.
And she's going to keep giving you some techniques for how to
Yes.
fight productively
Yes.
as opposed to fighting destructively?
That's right. And she said arguing is part of being in a relationship.
Absolutely.
It's just how you argue.
That's right. So thank you for going, because it makes all the difference in the world. And while I only deal with money, this relationship has a complication. There's a money issue, but there's also a communications issue. And if you can fix them both, you're away to the races. And then maybe he'll finally set the date.
Coming up next.
So have you learned anything over the last month? Any changes in the wedding plans? Do you feel closer to getting married?
Which couple is ready to take my financial vows? Delusional. You had to have a big entertainment center?
Her engagement ring, it's a high-interest loan. It's about 30%.
Self-indulgent.
He'll go out and spend $5,000 on a boat motor, which he did last year without telling me.
Are you insane? And totally lacking in discipline.
You put it on the card, get the checks, the pay, something pops up.
They'll be paying off their debt until they're gray-haired grannies.
And in 5 years, almost $600,000 in debt. You'll be $600,000 in debt. And in 5 years, $744,000 in debt.
From my courtroom of love, I challenge them to control their spending. This still has money in it. Improve their communication, go to a counselor, and work together to plan for the future. Because you never know what life will hit you with.
Going to a shelter? Really?
That's never gonna happen to us.
So, which couple has made enough changes to be rewarded with a romantic honeymoon and $15,000 to pay down their debt? Cue the dreamy music. For better or worse, for richer or poorer, in sickness and in health, these three couples have faced it all.
Congratulations. When we first met about a month ago, God and Catherine, you were bickering over the bucks. I didn't think you were going to make it this far, but I'm happy that you did. And George and Shantelle, your buy now, pay later habit was heading you towards $750,000 in debt. I'm happy to say that you're not going anywhere down that road. And Aisha and Duane, your out-of-control credit card spending was threatening to send you into the hole. But now you're on the right road. This month, you all learn to live on cash. You're planning a realistic wedding on a budget, and you're saving for your futures together.
You've proven you can trust each other. After a night in a shelter, you've seen how quickly life can change. And you've learned you can get through any crisis by supporting each other.
I would like you to repeat after me. I promise.
I promise.
I will talk with you about money openly and honestly.
I will talk with you about money openly and honestly.
I won't betray you by bouncing checks.
I won't betray you by bouncing checks.
Charging purchases behind your back.
Charging purchases behind your back.
Or making promises I can't keep.
Or making promises I can't keep.
I now pronounce you financially ready to get married. So have you learned anything over the last month?
No more buy now, pay later.
Yeah.
No more. No more. We're done.
It's been eye-opening. It's been more than I expected.
It's not just a money experience, it was our life experience for us. Like, it totally put us on the right path.
All we realize is this is as tough as it gets, and we're getting through it.
Any changes in the wedding plans?
We've made some serious changes.
We've spoken to our parents, and my mom also said, whoever we don't have on our list, if she wants, she will actually pay for them herself.
That's perfect. Do you feel closer to getting married?
Yes.
Going through this process, through the counseling, through talking, both of us, I think I've realized it's a lot more than just the day and about having the ring on your hand and being a family. It's more about making things right before you make a mistake.
Now that I've given them their financial marriage license, it's time to hand out the money.
Girls, when we started all of this, I told you that there was up to $15,000 up for grabs.
You guys made it hard for me to decide how to divvy it up, so go ahead, open your envelopes. You each got $5,000.
I have a special gift for each of you. Catherine and Scotta, I have for you a week away at an inn and resort. They have a kids program, so they'll be able to play all the time while you can enjoy the great outdoors. George and Shantelle, Duane and Aisha, I'm sending you on your honeymoons in the Caribbean.
Oh, Lord.
Rewarding, enlightening.
We're not going to put ourselves back into debt after the show.
It's totally changed my life for him and for my kids, and I would do this over in a heartbeat.
Feeling good?
Oh, I feel fantastic.
Thank you so much.
Mwah.
can be the beginning of hell or heaven. I was up the aisle. No matter how great the sex, money is the major marriage buster.
I love you, Gail.
Okay, let's say that that's the end now.